Today, brothers and sisters, we're going into a lesson, a very important lesson that have affected our society. I'm not just speaking of the black church. I'm speaking of the Christian church as a whole. And the name of this particular video will be The New Age Antichrist Doctrine.
What do you say? Let's give it a shot.
The New Age Antichrist Doctrine. Now, what made me go into this particular lesson today? I was looking at some things this morning concerning the spirits we will show you today. Teach. So for those who know that there's some deception in Christianity and use that as a pretext to shun the Bible, you would know that these people we'll show you today would be the leaders over the earth today under Satan's kingdom, under Satan's religion. Now, personally, myself, and I'm going to start this off by identifying a few books that I know that growing up, your mother had, your sister had, your family had, and it was these were main books that were promoted throughout all the Christian churches. I know these were promoted in the Christian churches, in the black neighborhoods predominantly. I remember these books. I met people who read these books. I'm going to show you how this all intertwined. You have a book like The Secret by Rhonda Burns. Now, it's not I don't know too many households or Christian households in America, especially black households, that don't have this book in it. The Secret, The Law of Attraction. Another book that I wanted to go over by this character here. Let me pull him up here. Where is he here? I have him in here somewhere. Well, I'm going to get his image in a moment. He's the guy that came up with the book, A Purpose-Driven Life. How many people out there that don't have this particular book, A Purpose-Driven Life? Let me get him here. Rick Warren is his name. There he is. Rick Warren is his name. See? Rick Warren. And you see, not too long ago, I think in 2006, he did a TED presentation. And you have to realize you must be rolling in the dough to do a TED presentation. That means a corporate impact. That means you have had a profound impact on society to the point where the whole earth need to hear what you have to say. Now, I don't think Christ would be at a TED presentation, but The Secret, here she is here. See the coat? Nice, right? The white hair. It's looking good, right? All right. I'm going to show you who's leading our people, brothers and sisters. And guess what? The sisters in the Christian church worship this woman as if she is the Christ herself, as far as their commitment in putting their finances towards Rhonda Burns' books. Here she is. Author of the month, Rhonda Burns. Who are we really looking at here? Who is she? See, I have to put this out there because you see these books and they are on the shelves of every Christian library that I've seen in America. What are her books doing in the Christian church? See, you know, women, when they get in the tan, here's another image. You know, you have to have that modern day look. All the stars are doing it. And they want to read The Secret. What's the secret? I want the secret. Right? Just going through a few images for you. And you know we have to talk about her. There she is. Satan's daughter. Oprah Winfrey. Because why? She is the woman that introduced this witch to you. Now, this woman, a witch. But that's what she is. Because she not only have the book, The Secret, this witch here. See? Satan appears as an angel of light. She also have the book, The Power. Don't you want the power? Hey, and if you get the power, then you get her next book, The Magic. There you go. Don't you want that magic? See, this is the slippery slope that's going on within the Christian church. See? And I looked into this woman, Rhonda Burns, because she, believe it or not, guess who financed her more than any other people in the earth? Christians. Black Christians. Now, mind you, brothers and sisters, she's not even Christian. She's a Buddhist. How are Buddhists becoming leaders in the Christian church? How are Buddhists respected and revered and honored in the Christian church? I'm going to show you how. She came off as a Christian when she first got her television show. Oprah, the mammy. And anything she introduced sells. And that's on purpose. Don't think that Oprah is behind the machine. She's just a face. This is how it's introduced to the black communities, because we knew Oprah as this Christian playing in all the old slavery movies and singing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. And she was a Christian as far as we knew. But the whole purpose was not to just promote Oprah, but to get to people like this. I want you to see her. Look at her face. I've seen this face in many black churches. I turn it around so y'all can see it here. Look at this. Oh, look at that. I've seen this face. She's engulfed in the spiritual church of Satan right now. Let me turn it this way. Look at this. Hey, I've been in the Christian church. I can tell you a church face when I see it. Okay? There it is. She's engulfed. Whoever's saying whatever they saying, she's feeling. Right? I know they may get mad at me because I'm going to break it down piece by piece to show you the deception, because this was a patient work to get it to the point where after all we've been through, we would listen to the likes of this. A witch. What have happened amongst our people that we trust witches, sorcerers, and warlocks? Are we that downtrodden? Are we that broken? Look at this. She's like she's about to just jump on a broom and just go somewhere. Look at this. She's a witch. Now, and guess what? I'm not saying anything that this woman wouldn't admit herself. Okay? What Christian would come out with a book called The Magic? She's a witch. Now, for those who look to equate the Bible with this sorcery and this newfound religion we see in the earth today, let's go to the Bible to show you how the Bible will totally strike witches like this down. Go to Exodus 22 and 18. Exodus 22 and 18 and Deuteronomy 18 and 10. And when I say witch, we also are speaking of the witch's apprentice, Oprah. Our people have been deceived. What they will tell you is that these principles that you learn through this new age philosophy is really the same principles of Christ, but they're just giving you some in-depth details that you couldn't get by reading the Bible. See, that's the deception. They'll say, well, it's really the same principles, and they try to parallel these sayings from witches and warlocks and sorcerers and try to parallel and put them on the same par as Christ on purpose, because they know in order to bring forth this new world order, they must initiate the whole earth into a new world religion. And you're going to find it's not new world at all. This is an ancient philosophy that they're now bringing to the forefront. What does the Most High say about witches?
Deuteronomy, Exodus.
Now, mind you, Exodus 22 and 18. Now, mind you, brothers and sisters, that we're reading out of the law here on the Sabbath. So what I'm reading here to you today, brothers and sisters, out of the law, was normally read on the Sabbaths when we were in place, when we were in our land on the Sabbaths. We would all come together and have a constant reminder on how to operate amongst our society to keep a righteous society before we fell. So that means someone couldn't come to me with some smooth marketing ploy to move me out of my belief, my core belief and understanding of the law. Let's go to Exodus 22 and 18. Let's read that.
Book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 18.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
The Bible tells us in the Old Testament that we were not to suffer a witch to live. That means it doesn't matter if she's related to you, whether or not you care for her. It says suffer, that means to bear her, to make an excuse for people so that they can actually deal with their sorcery against the Most High's people. We not only suffer a witch to live, we promote and reverence witches in our society. Now, if this was in Israel, the ancient Israel, there would be no books called The Secret or The Magic, because we had in the Old Testament a law for this, in which you walk her up to a mountain, push her, and roll rocks on her. And then all the kids, everyone get a rock. And you would bury her in rocks. That's how it worked. That's how it worked. Okay? Rocks. She would be stoned according to the Most High. Why? Because you cannot suffer a witch to live. Eventually, a witch would cast spells, make potions, make certain drugs, and decay and demoralize and destroy a society. Let's go to Deuteronomy 18 and 10.
Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10.
Go ahead.
There shall not be found among you.
There shall not be found among us
anyone
that
maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire.
To pass through the fire. That's a sacrifice to Moloch. Read.
Or that useth divination.
Divination.
or an observer of times,
an observer of times,
or an enchanter,
or an enchanter,
or a witch.
or a witch. See, this is prominent in our society to the point where we don't know right from wrong, left from right. We as a people don't even understand what a witch is. They operate so prevalent in our society. Look at the woman who was paid all this money over the what's the guy with the wand, the little kid thing, the Harry Potter franchise. Look how much money this woman is being paid over the Harry Potter franchise. So there's witches, warlocks, and sorcerers. Now, society will make us all think that these are just independent entrepreneurs with their independent thought and that are capitalizing off of what they can bring to society personally without having us know that this is an agenda. Without telling us, letting us know that there's a purpose behind everything we see in the media. Everything we read in these books, there's a purpose. There's an ideology that they're moving us all towards. Let me show you. So in order for us to understand what the New Age movement is, because it's intertwined with the prosperity doctrine, let's go back. I'm going to share my screen with you, lawyer. I want you to read this for me, please.
Time.
All right. We're going to get into the word, but I just want to share these things with you to give you brothers and sisters. And on the screen, you see a guy by the name of Phineas Parkhurst Quimby. Okay? Now, mind you, this guy is Jewish. Right? There was something before him. So this is research you can actually do yourself. We went back to the prosperity theology, the theology you see that became prominent in America through Billy Graham, through Kenneth Copeland, and who learned from Kenneth Copeland? Creative flow of dollars, Creflo Dollar. The whole prosperity movement came from Billy Graham, Kenneth Copeland. They're the fathers of this new doctrine that intertwines with that which we just showed you not too long ago. This is where they began to infiltrate the Christian churches. After demoralizing and taking down certain people, separating families in the black neighborhoods, they began to teach a doctrine that was needed. A doctrine that said, give me money. After you tear someone down and the families are separated and people are on welfare and you're struggling and you can't get a job, the only mainstay we had as a people was in our refuge was the Christian church. So what better place to pitch a new doctrine? A doctrine in which you understand according to society would cure your financial ills. They could get everyone in the church on Sundays now and give a promise. And it began the prosperity doctrine. I'm going to show you how this all intertwines. I need you to, we're going to read this right out of Rocky, the prosperity theology. We're not going to read the whole thing, but I just want you to point out a few things you went into earlier, lawyer.
Concern, just read the definition at the top.
The definition, okay.
This is prosperity theology, sometimes referred to as the prosperity gospel, the health and wealth gospel, or the gospel of success, is a Christian religious doctrine that financial blessing is the will of God for Christians.
A financial blessing is the will of God for Christians. Go ahead.
And that faith, positive speech, and donations to Christian ministries will increase one's material wealth based on non-traditional interpretations of the Bible.
And I'm glad that was the New Age understanding and philosophy that have nothing to do with the core principles of the Bible. Many people are going into pits of hell.
The doctrinal emphasis emphasizes the importance of personal empowerment,
Here it comes, personal empowerment.
proposing that it is God's will for his people to be happy. I'm going to jump down to the history.
I want you to check out this personal empowerment, though, because that's what they're teaching through the New Age movement. It's not about moving together as a nation, as a society, as a people under one God. It's about personally coming up financially, personally having wealth and being an example to the earth of how you have been promoted to this higher plane. That was that's an ancient promise from the garden. We're going to go there again. The Garden of Eden. We're going to go there. Keep on going, Lloyd.
I'm going to jump down to the history, the
The
third
history.
paragraph.
Go ahead.
It says, it was during the healing revivals of the 1950s.
It was during the healing revivals of the 1950s, because in the 1950s were the times where they would have people come out for healing. And then you would pay the pastor. It was no preaching, no nothing going on. This guy, they would have the choir going and this guy touching people and they falling out. That started in the 1950s. No coincidence. No coincidence. At the same time that the government was ramping up their polio vaccines, that was getting the majority of the population sick. Right? So now they're making people sick. You need a healing now. So that was the movement in the 50s. Read.
It says, it was during the healing revivals of the 1950s that prosperity theology first came to prominence in the United States. Although commentators have linked the origins of its theology to the New Thought movement.
To the what?
To the New Thought movement.
To the New Thought movement. New Age, New Thought. Read.
The New Thought movement is a spiritual movement which developed in the United States in the 19th century following the teachings of Phineas Quimby. The three major organizations within the New Thought movement today are Religious Science,
Religious Science,
Unity Church, and the Church of Divine Science, with an estimated number of 1.5 million adherents. In the United States between them,
go ahead.
there are numerous smaller groups, most of which are incorporated in the International New Thought Alliance.
Now check out what it says here, though. Although New Thought is neither monolithic nor doctrinaire, in general, modern day adherents of New Thought believe that God, or infinite intelligence, is supreme, universal, and everlasting. That divinity dwells within each person. That all people are spiritual beings. That the highest spiritual principle is loving one another unconditionally and teaching the healing of one another. That our mental states are carried forward into manifestation and become our experience in daily living. Now, on the surface, brothers and sisters, that doesn't sound too bad, does it? But you have to realize or understand what God they're speaking of when it talks of infinite intelligence. It's speaking of the enlightened one, the God of this earth, Lucifer. Now I'm going to get into the meat of this, but let's get this one guy real quick. What's his name again? Go ahead.
The New Thought movement originated in the early 19th century and survives to the current day in the form of loosely allied group of religious denominators, authors, philosophers.
Hold up, there it is. Loosely allied group of religious denominations. Authors, philosophers,
and individuals who share a set of beliefs concerning metaphysics, positive thinking,
the
law of attraction.
Oh, you thought the law of attraction secret came from what? Rhonda Burns, didn't you? See that? And she's a Buddhist. The law of attraction, the secret. What else?
Healing, life force, creative visualization,
Go ahead.
and personal power.
And personal power. So they done move the understanding of the gospel of Christ into an individual thought religion, a self-empowerment religion that's now being taught throughout the earth through the Church of Oprah Winfrey. She's just a proxy in this whole thing. Let's not focus on Oprah here, because she's just the bridge they use for black people to cross over. Okay? She's just the bridge. Because we knew that that philosophy was Luciferian. But they use Oprah to bridge the gap between Satanism, between what the newfound Christianity and the New Age movement. Now, when I say this is an ancient philosophy, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go to the book of Genesis to show you what the New Age movement and the New Age churches teach, what they promise you, what the overall objective is of this religion, and what they promise you will receive. Let's go back to Genesis.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1.
What did the serpent promise Eve? Adam. Read.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field.
The serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field,
which the Most High Power had made. And he said unto the woman,
and he said unto the woman,
Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
Now mind you, the serpent didn't come to Adam, brothers and sisters. Why? Because Adam was the head. The Most High told Adam what to do and what not to do. So he could not deceive Adam. But he was able to go to Eve on a technicality, know that if he can deceive her through Adam's love for her, it could mean his fall. So usually the serpent can come in, brothers and sisters, when we're not together, when we're not operating together. This is not blaming the woman. This is just an example of two people being on one accord. That's the example, because while men are working, while they're absent, whatever the case is, the serpent comes in. The serpent begins to operate. And what does he promise? Listen to this clearly. And mind you, it's no coincidence that they used Oprah Winfrey, someone that women would respect and honor, powerful. And don't believe that she got all this money and power that they claiming on Forbes and all this. All right? These are just characters created for you to believe that you can one day become Oprah. They only need one Oprah. So all that promising you to be where Oprah is, no. That was a price, her soul. But they only need one of her. Okay? And I'm putting that out there because this is the introduction of how they have our sisters look at the TV and look at Oprah and say, well, she seemed fine to me. Nothing is happening to her, and her life is prospering. It seems like she's only positive. But you don't see what happens when the cameras are off, when the lights turn down, when the makeup is off. You don't see that this woman's life is a living hell. Okay? Because she have made an agreement with a lesser God. That's what you don't see. They'll never show you that on TV. But let's get back to it. This promise.
Verse 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden, which is in the midst of the garden. The Most High have said, Ye shall not eat of it.
Go ahead.
Neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die.
So the serpent said, you're going to live. Now, was he lying? See, after she took of the fruit, she was still living. So was he lying? He understood what death is. He understood that it was speaking of more than just a physical death here. You're going to live. Yes, she lived. But what happens eventually? Keep on going.
Verse 5. For the Most High doeth know that in the day that ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened.
Your eyes shall be opened. That means you can see things that you would normally see. It's what they call today, in this madness they're dealing with, which is satanic, dealing with the doctrine of the pineal gland, opening up your third eye. See, this was a promise from the serpent in the beginning. Read.
Then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods.
You shall be as gods. And that's what they're teaching now in this New Age movement, that we all are a god. Even Oprah, everyone is saying it now. Yeah, I'm a god. You a god. That's what. Then they try to bring Christ in. Didn't Christ say that we are gods? But he says we shall die like men, because the gods that we're speaking of, that Christ was speaking of, wasn't speaking of gods from on high. It was speaking of judges on the earth. But they try to use that ambiguous term of gods to say that we can be like angels, fallen angels. Because what did Lucifer understand? Read, it's going to show you.
For God doeth know in the day that ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened.
Your eyes shall be opened.
And ye shall be as gods.
You shall be as gods.
Knowing good and evil.
Knowing good and evil. So what did Satan offer? Information. Science. Understanding of certain things. Now eventually, through the power of the Most High, at the end of this, we receive it all anyway. But it's receiving that promise to get an edge over other people. See, and that's what he was promising Eve. See? Now, when the Most High looked to set the record straight, he told the woman, because of your sin, that you will be subject to your husband now, and he shall rule over you. See? And your desire shall be unto your husband. So the feminist movement, is the breaking of that order the Most High looked to put back in place. Because they went to the woman first. And I'm saying this because this is what I understand. That the houses are broken now. Our society is broken where the women, by default, must leave the households now. So they focused on the woman understanding the shift, that it will be the woman dictating the households and the mindsets of those, that the children who would be raised in her household. So let me show you here. You will all be able to see it. So that's why they went the feminist way. And look, that's Rihanna, brothers and sisters. Look what's in her hand. It's the book, The Magic, by Rhonda Burns. I'm sorry you all can't see the images, but it's Rihanna with the book, The Magic, by the same woman that came up with The Secret. See that? I want you to check this out. Because a lot of you don't have no time to really put all this together and see that they're playing us. They're playing you in these Christian churches. They're playing you. The whole earth is being initiated into worshiping the fallen one. This is no new age movement, brothers and sisters. This is an ancient movement that's now come to light. The world is ready to accept it now. Let's get in Corinthians where it says that he appears as an angel of light in Corinthians 11. No marvel.
14.
Yeah, 14, yeah. 2 Corinthians, yeah. You have it?
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14.
Yes.
And I'll start at 13. For such are false apostles.
When it says such a false apostles, it's speaking of people like Kenneth Copeland. It's speaking of people like T.D. Jakes. It's speaking of people like Creator Flow of Dollars. Because what these people do, apostles set up churches. And I'm going to show you how diabolical these churches are. How can you have a mega church when we realize that coming up, churches used to be communal? Okay? They used to be communal, which means you go to a church in your area. So what they were able to do with this New Age movement, this satanic movement, was to move all the churches out of the community that cared about the community into a mega church, taken away from the community and the love one would have with the few people that the pastor would usher or shepherd. So they moved everyone. You can't get a mega church unless you take from all the other churches. So now the small churches get no love. And the mega churches are now being programmed. I'm looking at Joel Osteen, Satan's son. How his whole thing is, I can't judge nothing. I can't judge. Who's the judge? Christ was about love. I can sit here with Buddhists. I can sit here with Muslims in my congregation. I can sit here. Listen, even though I don't deal with it, there's homosexuals who have done a lot of positive things in this earth. Can we separate the way they are from what they have actually brought forth in society, even though I don't agree with it? But why can't we just love each other? The question is, what the hell religion is that? Okay, but it sounds good. It sounds respectful. It's sorcery. It's psychology. The Bible says we are not supposed to suffer a witch to live. And see, a lot of you don't understand this. In the Dark Ages, when it was talking about burning witches at the stake, that was our people. When we got in charge in Europe, we were killing witches. Okay? Because they are the threat to society. Now, are we to do that now? Of course not. Of course we can't go out and physically impose our will on someone who's practicing that satanic religion. Let the Most High be the judge. But I understand why we were doing that in the Dark Ages. When Israelites got in charge, we began to bring back the law that was written so that we can cleanse our society. We couldn't have our little daughters growing up thinking it was okay to be witches and sorcerers. We couldn't have our young men growing up thinking it was okay to cast spells on people and make potions that kill people, like your doctors and your pharmacists today. So if you were doing something with your potions and all that and your magic and your psychology, the Most High had a law in which we would burn witches at the stake. We would kill them. That was us during the Dark Ages. It was us ruling Europe. We weren't having it. But what I'm showing you here, read that again.
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 13. For such are false apostles.
Read, false apostles.
Deceitful workers.
They're deceitful workers. And here's their deceit.
Transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ.
They have made everyone believe that they were down with Christ. That was the deception. And then the Christians say, okay, well, I can relate, because you're not reading the Bible. So you don't know how to weigh what you're seeing here, because they're coming off smiling. And it seems like good people. They're serving food downstairs. They got a food drive. Everything seems above water. Read.
Deceitful workers transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ.
Go ahead.
14. And no marvel.
And no marvel.
For Satan himself
is
transformed into an angel of light.
He have transformed himself into Christ, brothers and sisters. He's the angel of light. He's the enlightened one. He's the one that everyone should go to for spirituality, for faith, to understand what love is, for self-empowering. Read.
Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness.
So the ministers of Satan will also be looked at today as the ministers of righteousness. All society now are going to Satanists to get to the Most High God. They're going to Satanists. Now there's more. Finish reading what you have there.
Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works.
Whose end shall be according to their works. Now when I say it started way back at the beginning, where Satan offered power, self-empowerment to be like gods, like it's being taught in these New Age churches now. It started way back when. But then during the 1500s, you have what? Ignatius Loyola, a dark night of the Catholic Church. Here he is. We taught about him last week in the academy. Him and Francisco Rivera coming up with a new Left Behind doctrine that's false concerning Christ's doctrine. These are Satanists. So in the 1500s, the Christians looked to take over, take down a black man named King James and bring forth a New Age philosophy in which they would water down the Bible. When I say water it down, don't teach the true intent of the Bible and teach a new pagan philosophy that will lead people at the very end to reject the Bible altogether when they realize the doctrine is a lie. It was all a plan. Him and Ribera, under what? Here he is, Satan's son, under the papacy. Now, see, brothers and sisters, it's a slippery slope here because at one time, we knew not to follow any book outside the Bible. So later on, once they got their grip, their hand in our book, they realized that there's certain things in our Bible, the King James Version Bible, that would expose them. So in the 1700s, they came up with the New King James Bible. They had the Jehovah's Witnesses come out with the New International Version or whatever they're dealing with. They started watering down the truth concerning the Bible and giving us a new Bible. And there's no coincidence that in all black churches that I've seen, you cannot find a King James Version Bible. The NIV was published by the same publishers that published the Luciferian Bible. So they needed to take the Bible out of the churches before the children of Israel, which are our people, begin to wake up. This is how they led everyone down into a new age. Now they gave you a book that says the Bible, and it's not the Bible. Right? Then the 80s, they came up with new. In the 80s, they came up with a new doctrine. The Left Behind doctrine that really came from these Satanists here. The Left Behind doctrine came through Jesuits. That Left Behind movie y'all see with Nicolas Cage now, that's not a religious, chronological a depiction on the coming of Christ. It's a lie to have you receive the mark of the beast based on their chronology. See? Came up these sorcerers, these Satanists, and then they have your new Satanists. And mind you, you would never guess who bought these guys' books, the Left Behind books. These guys became millionaires. These are Jesuits, Satanists. Look at them. They're Satanists and got paid to continue a left behind lie. Now, why are we showing you this? I want you to see all this. Because the church, let me tell you, the Christian church is not the Christian church. And I come to find out that the Christian churches in America and in the Western world were never churches of the Most High. We began to make our own spirituality in America during the time of slavery. Okay? That's what makes our worship so different than every other church you see. Because we brought our worships and the way we were congregating and all that from Africa. When we understood we were Hebrews. It wasn't until later that they seen us coming together, and they initiated under what you call Uncle Tom, a pastor, to move us into this New Age movement and new philosophy. That's where you get the Uncle Tom from. He was an actual pastor who was utilized to initiate us into this. We weren't a part of this before. So I'm trying to give you a little history, brothers and sisters, because the majority of your churches are not really churches of the Most High. And it was one time we didn't get some understanding from a book and use a book outside the Bible to understand the Bible. The Secret, with the law of attraction, the magic, the power. Brothers and sisters, these books work. You have some people who had nothing and followed the steps of these books, and it changed their life financially. Okay, so some people we're not going to be able to convince them about the true origin of what they are believing in and are participating in. We understand that because those things work. Magic is real. Sorcery is real. But be careful, because if we've learned anything in this earth, brothers and sisters, there's nothing we receive. There's nothing that you can receive in this world without a price. That's the part of the prosperity gospel they're not telling you. Yes, you're going to receive something, but what you giving up? Okay, that's the piece they're not telling you. Let's read what we should be reading, the core content. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 12. And further by these, my son.
And further by these, my son.
Be admonished. Of making many books, there is no end.
The Bible says be admonished, which means be corrected for making of many books. Because there is no end. Anyone can come up with a thought and write a book. I know some people that are using these books to shape their life and their direction, their direction, as if these books are the Bible. And once they read this book, because it helped them, it moves them to go purchase the next book. And that's why this woman right here becomes what? This Satanist right here. Where is she? This witch. That's why women like this becomes author of the month. Rhonda Byrne. The Secret. You get that book, you get the next level of Satanism. The power. And then you get the next level. You want to be able to wield that power? Let me give you the magic. We're looking at Lucifer's daughter here. Look at her. She's a child of the devil. Okay, let me put this out. Let me just put that out there. Right? Be admonished of making of many books, there is no end. Read.
And much study is a weariness of the flesh.
Read on.
13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Go ahead.
Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Now, if you fear the Most High and keep his commandments, he's going to fulfill his promise until he comes. His promise is, through food, shelter, and raiment, be there with content. Okay, that means if you got a roof over your head, you had a meal today, okay, with food, shelter, and you got some clothes on your back, you're already blessed. You're already blessed. Maybe you're not blessed enough compared to what you see on TV, that dream, that aspiration. But the reality is, brothers and sisters, a lot of us are already blessed. We're already blessed. We don't need this other stuff. The thing of prosperity is satanic, how they have you following this caveat of this power that you are to receive if you follow these other books. Let's read Isaiah 34:16 real quick.
Isaiah 34, verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
First, that must be our foundation first. Now, if we seek out of the book of the Lord and read, and he says, he suffered not a witch to live, I'm not going to buy a witch's book. I'm not going to buy a sorcerer's book. What can I learn from them? All the key things they're talking about, you can find in the Bible. Another thing they did, I don't know, I didn't put the Martin Luther King thing in here, did I? How to bridge the gap so that we can follow their mess. She quotes Martin Luther King. Whether affects one directly, affects all indirectly. I can never be what I thought to be. That is the what? That is the what?
Let me get that. It says, whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. This is the interrelated structure of reality. Martin Luther King Jr.
Now, she quotes Martin Luther King in one of her books, but the key thing is she says, you don't have to be a Buddhist to be a Buddha. Now, check it out. You see how they bridging the gap between a respected Christian pastor who's revered in the United States and Buddhists? They're telling you that it's all really the same religion. The New Age movement is really bringing the true intent for the Christian's future. Because it's all ancient Babylonian, it's all ancient Satanist religion. Christ says, many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. So Christianity is now accepting the Buddhist thought because it was all together under paganism before there was any such man named as Christ. See, I hope we're getting somewhere here. Be it modest to make it of many books, there is no end. So you're going to have philosophers. They're going to use Martin Luther King. They're going to make you believe that you can relate to them in some way, shape, or fashion. And I don't understand how sisters are buying this. Okay. And I want to just aim towards the sisters because I don't know no brothers going inside a bookstore saying, I need a purpose-driven life. Or I need the secret. Okay, that's why I'm pointing out sisters. Well, I'm like, when I seen that book and I seen sisters reading, I'm like, you know what? We are in trouble. Hey, they reading some more mess to get us to come at us. And that's what they be doing. They reading this stuff, and now stuff is moving around in the house and things are changing. And I'm like, yo, put down this book. The only thing that's changed is these books she's buying. They're asking you questions she never asked you before. And you're like, well, listen, we're going to read this Bible. Let's read this Bible because burn that book. You got a witch living in your house in that book, guiding you. Because it's not just speaking of her. The books say things like, you have to reassess everything. You have to reassess what's in your life. Because sometimes everything is fine and women have moods. Men have moods. and you're going through one of your moves, and now you read the book, and you're going through one of your moves, and like, you know what, I need to reassess a few things around here. That's how it goes. Now this witch is in your house, not your wife, but this witch here. Let me pull up here. This witch right here. Now she's in your house. If you're not happy every day, then something must be wrong. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, listen, she need to just deal with what she's dealing with. She got issues here. How can she give advice? But that's how it works, brothers and sisters. They take advantage of our vulnerabilities, our shortcomings, and our financial position. You know, they come in at a key point in our life when things are not really doing too well. And they help us. See? But you don't want that help.
I have a few references I want to read.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
We just read the purpose-driven life out of the Bible, Ecclesiastes 12:12-13.
Yes.
Fear the Most High, keep His commandments.
That's the purpose-driven life.
Right. Let's see what the Bible says about the secret.
Yeah, here go the secret.
Here's a secret from the Most High.
Let's get some secrets here.
Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 29. The secret things belong unto the Lord our God.
Who they belong to? Get that chapter and verse again.
This is Deuteronomy 29:29.
No, let's get the secret.
The secret things belong unto the Lord our God.
Go ahead.
But those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law.
Exactly. So we have enough to understand than to try to find some secret. See, the secret is the word works in itself because it entails information you don't have yet. Mm-hmm. Well, what this person know, I don't know. So that title in itself makes one curious. Like, who don't want to know the secret? You know, I'm just making an example how somebody says something to you and they stop it halfway. Mm-hmm. Well, I can't say nothing to you. Like, yo. Why you say it then? Mm-hmm. No, you promise you ain't gonna tell nobody. That's how it goes. Because everybody want to know. Okay, this guy knows some stuff. Mm. So that's how they get you the secret, making you think you need to unlock something. The secrets belong to the Most High. He revealed what He wants to reveal, so that you can keep His commandments and do what you need to do. Mm-hmm. Everything is not for everybody, which means one book is not the answer for everyone. There's some things, brothers and sisters, that we just shouldn't know. That's the truth. There's certain things that should stay secret. Okay? Then they show this woman's life on Lifestyles of Rich and Famous. They give her books of the month and all these things, and everyone is looking at, she's premiered on Oprah 5-6 times. And you wonder, well, how did this work for her? You know how she's able to do all these things and look so rich and be so rich? She done took your money with the book, The Secret. And they sitting there, she's reaching her thought pattern. Oh my goodness. No. She got your money. And you never tie those things in. These sorcerers are serious. They are serious. And I want to put it out there. Because every now, I notice because the Most High give us the inspiration to be pastors, teachers, and preachers. But it's a shame because everyone that's aspiring to actually serve the Most High now must follow this new age way of doing it, or you're not accepted. Everyone is reading these books to try to become the next Kenneth Copeland or Creative Flow of Dollars or T.D. Jakes. You don't even want to serve the Most High how the disciples were serving. and how Christ was doing it. You want to become these new age power speakers. And that's not the way. One other thing, let's get into this money real quick. I want to get into this money before we answer a few questions. And guess what? If Rihanna got the secret, if she got the magic, what sister don't want to have the magic? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is a shame, because this sister was once a beautiful sister. She had some innocence with her. And now, what is she promoted as? A witch, a harlot. She got the secret, though. She got the magic. You had Kenneth Copeland, who came out with the prosperity movement. That if you're poor, you're not blessed. Satan is in your life if you're poor. Well, Kenneth Copeland, I got a problem with that, you know, especially if we were dragged over into like a land and had to serve for nothing. That's pretty poor. And then been put in ghettos, and you understand, and I don't understand how everyone else can get things, even though I understand the Most High put us in this position so that we can call on Him. So don't think that I'm crying about our condition here. But you have the majority of society that's predisposed based on classifications to be poor. You can't say God is not with millions of people because they're poor. It's stupid. But they got some poor people to look for an advantage and want to follow this Satanist here with his private jets and his big houses and all this mess. Tax-free money. Right? So you know he had to have him a black apprentice. There you go. This guy changed his name to create a flow of dollars. That's what Creflo is. That's not his name. And his wife's name is not Taffy either. This guy named himself Create a Flow of Dollars. Here we go now. And you wonder why so many people in this earth are now turning into atheist teachers. And they don't believe in the Bible because they look at those who represent it, who they think represents it. So this is also going out to those who looked at people like this and put down the Bible because of this new movement. The Bible is true. The Bible exposes these criminals for what they are. The Bible is true. The problem is tax-free money. Right? So you know he had to have him a black apprentice. There you go. This guy changed his name to Create a Flow of Dollars. That's what Creflo is. That's not his name. And his wife's name is not Taffy either. This guy named himself Create a Flow of Dollars. Here we go now. And you wonder why so many people in this earth are now turning into atheist teachers and want to follow this if you pull. Well, Kenneth Copeland, I got a problem with that, you know, especially if this sister was once a beautiful sister. She had some innocence with her. And now, what is she promoted as? A witch, a harlot. She got the secret, though. She got the magic. You had Kenneth Copeland, who came out with the prosperity movement. That if you're poor, you're not blessed. Satan is in your life if you're poor. Well, Kenneth Copeland, I got a problem with that, you know, especially if we were dragged over into like a land and had to serve for nothing. That's pretty poor. and then been put in ghettos, and you understand, and I don't understand how everyone else can get things, even though I understand the Most High put us in this position so that we can call on him. So don't think that I'm crying about our condition here. But you have the majority of society that's predisposed based on classifications to be poor. You can't say God is not with millions of people because they're poor. It's stupid. But they got some poor people to look for an advantage and want to follow this Satanist here with his private jets and his big houses and all this mess. Tax-free money. Right? So you know he had to have him a black apprentice. There you go. This guy changed his name to create a flow of dollars. That's what Creflo is. That's not his name. And his wife's name is not Taffy either. This guy named himself Create a Flow of Dollars. Here we go now. And you wonder why so many people in this earth are now turning into atheist teachers. And they don't believe in the Bible because they look at those who represent it, who they think represents it. So mess. Tax-free money. Right? So you know he had to have him a black apprentice. There you go. This guy changed his name to Create a Flow of Dollars. That's what Creflo is. That's not his name. And his wife's name is not Taffy either. This guy named himself Create a Flow of Dollars. Here we go now. And you wonder why so many people in this earth are now turning into atheist teachers. And they don't believe in the Bible because they look at those who represent it, who they think represents it. So this is also going out to those who looked at people like this and put down the Bible because of this new movement. The Bible is true. The Bible exposes these criminals for what they are. The Bible is true. The problem is man. Yes?
How does Kenneth Copeland deal with Lazarus?
How do we deal with the story of Lazarus?
Yeah.
He don't deal with the story of Lazarus and the rich man. He don't deal with the rich man and the rich man in hell. He don't deal with that. No. He just deal with whatever talks about giving him money. So, let's see what Christ have to say. Let's go to Matthew 6:24 and 1 Timothy 6:10. And also I looked at the core beliefs of these Satanists as far as these Buddhists. And everything, let me tell you, it's everywhere, brothers and sisters. I'm looking not only just in the church. I mean, what's wrong with a regular exercise class? Everywhere you pop up, it's yoga now. And that's the new thing amongst sisters too now. Oh, I'm just coming from yoga. Why don't you can run around a corner and exercise yourself. Why are you doing yoga? Okay, I'm telling you, they're pushing this Satanist New Age movement. I was exercising before any such thing as yoga. They're like, see, yoga embodies it all. Mind, spirit. I'm like, no. You sit there, you're channeling, and a demon, you sitting there with your legs folded, waiting for a demon to just come right up in you. That's what's going on here. So it's not just in religion, it's in every part of our being in this earth. They're leading us into the New Age movement. It's everywhere. Let's deal with this money thing real quick. Let's go to Matthew 6:24.
Matthew 6:24. No man can serve two masters.
No man can serve two masters.
For either he will hate the one and love the other.
So there's no middle ground. And this is speaking to everyone out there. There's no middle ground. If either you're serving the Most High, the God of all gods, the Creator, or you're serving Satan. There's no in between. There's no. It's just like Oprah said in one of her broadcasts. There's many ways. You can't say your path is the path. Many ways. What are you talking about? We was listening to you, Oprah, because we thought you believed in Christ. What you mean many ways? You just can't, that can't possibly be the only way. Remember she said, that can't possibly be the only way. What? These people are Satanists. And it's deep because anyone with a true word and understanding of doctrine and the Bible would never get a platform to teach. We could even teach on a public access channel, let alone get the forum to do what Oprah's doing. We just spoke some truthful about a few hours in Manchester, and they almost shut the whole radio station down. They just shut the whole program down. So there's really no outlet for the truth here. I mean, the Jewish guy admitted everything. The guy, and you know what? You know I got something on that before we leave. Because that's not finished. Before we done, I got something on that. Before we release the video. But that lets you know that Satan controls this world. If you're bringing out the truth anywhere, it's immediately censored and stomped out. But I can hear these witches and warlocks teach all day long. All day long I can hear these witches and warlocks and sorcerers teach all day long, and no one say anything. I can just hear them. I'm pointing them out to you. I'm looking. They're popping up everywhere. Look at them. See? I can see these guys every place. Every place. See? The reality is, brothers and sisters, there's only one God. There's only one way. And Oprah says, it can't be. It can't be just one way. It just can't be. Why? Because she knows that if there's one way, she's not going to make it. Because she's not following it.
On that show, the lady said, what about Christ?
And yeah, a woman stood up and said, well, what about Christ? She said, and? Huh?
She said, she was like, and?
She said, and? And it's deep because I'm looking at the demographic of people that made Oprah. The majority of these people were black Christians. Somewhere she switched over her thing into something else. It was black people that were supporting her that got her on her feet. And this woman stood up and says, what about Christ? What are you talking about? Because she's a Christian in Oprah's audience. So if she knew that you wasn't following Christ, so people were deceived. And the way they do it is to say, well, these principles have been to the earth for many years, and people like Christ actually brought forth these principles. Well, if Christ brought forth these principles, why do we need to hear anything else then? Why can't we just read the Bible and follow Christ? What you have that Christ can't give us? Those questions are never asked. Will Buddha have these core principles? Will Buddha also have satanic principles? Speaking of reincarnation and people coming back as plants and fish, and should I believe that too? Satan wants us to believe that you have another shot so that you can waste the life you got. Okay? This is it. Hebrews 9:27 tells us it's appointed unto man once to die, then the judgment. If you waste your life, believe me, this is the only one you get. You don't get another shot. So that's the things they want. Buddhists and all those teachers, they're lying to you for your soul. There's only one God. And there's only one way to serve him. And it's to keep his commandments. Period. The commandments are contained in the book. The Most High is very simple with this. You look at the Bibles, see the do's and don'ts, and that's it. You do the things he say do, and don't do the things he say. The things he say don't do, you don't do those things. It's that simple. All the love and all the stuff that they're talking about, you can find in the Bible. You don't need a purpose-driven life. Okay, sometimes money can really reveal who you are and get you destroyed. Some people don't need a certain excess of money. So the Bible says, with food, shelter, and raiment, be there with content. Because let me tell you, money reveals everything in people. It reveals everything. If you see someone is different because they have money, or they operate in a certain way because they have money, that actually reveals what was in them. So money is not the answer. Finish reading that.
No man can serve two masters.
Go ahead.
Either he will hate the one and love the other.
That's the key thing. If you're not serving the Most High in this world, you're taught to hate him. There's no in between. If you are serving another God, you hate the Most High. If you are a Buddhist, you hate God, okay? If you are a Christian, a pagan Christian, and celebrating Christmas and Easter and all that, I know this is a hurt thing for you, but you hate God because God said don't do it. If you're eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, the only way you can show the Most High you love him is to keep his commandments. Let's get that real quick in 1 John 5. It's not God, okay? If you're eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, the only way you can show the Most High you love him is to keep his commandments. Let's get because they have money.
And love the other.
That's the key thing. Another God, you hate the Most High. Money, period. There's only one God. You look at the Bibles, speaking of reincarnation and people coming back as plants, and you knew that you wasn't following Christ. So people were deceived. And the way they do it is to say, well, these principles have been to the earth for many years, and people like Christ actually brought forth these principles. Well, if Christ brought forth these principles, why do we need to hear anything else then? Why can't we just read the Bible and follow Christ? What you have that Christ can't give us? Those questions are never asked. Will Buddha have these core principles? Will Buddha also have satanic principles? Speaking of because she's a Christian in Oprah's audience, so if she knew that you wasn't following Christ, so people were deceived. And the way they do it is to say, well, these principles have been to the earth for many years, and people like Christ actually brought forth these principles. Well, if Christ brought forth these principles, why do we need to hear anything else then? Why can't we just read the Bible and follow Christ? What you have that Christ can't give us? They do it is to say, well, these principles have people that were supporting her, that got her on her feet. And this woman stood up and says, what about Christ? What are you talking about? Because she's a Christian in Oprah's audience, so if she knew that you wasn't following Christ, so people were deceived. And the way they do it is to say, well, these principles have been to the earth for many years, and people like Christ actually brought forth these principles. Well, if Christ brought forth these principles, why do we need to hear anything else then? Why can't we just read the Bible and follow Christ? What you have that Christ can't give us? Those questions are never asked. Will Buddha have these core principles? Will Buddha also have satanic principles? Speaking of reincarnation and people coming back as plants and fish, and should I believe that too? Satan wants us to believe that you have another shot so that you can waste the life you got. Okay? This is it. Hebrews 9:27 tells us it's appointed unto man once to die, then the judgment. If you waste your life, believe me, this is the only one you get. You don't get another shot. So that's the things they want. Buddhists and all those teachings, they're lying to you for your soul. There's only one God. And there's only one way to serve him, and it's to keep his commandments. Period. The commandments are contained in the book. The Most High is very simple with this. You look at the Bibles, see the do's and don'ts, and that's it. You do the things he say do, and don't do the things he say. The things he say don't do, you don't do those things. It's that simple. All the love and all the stuff that they're talking about, you can find in the Bible. You don't need a purpose-driven life. Okay, sometimes money can really reveal who you are and get you destroyed. Some people don't need a certain excess of money. So the Bible says, with food, shelter, and raiment, be there with content. Because let me tell you, money reveals everything in people. It reveals everything. If you see someone's different because they have money, or they operate in a certain way because they have money, that actually reveals what was in them. So money is not the answer. Finish reading that.
No man can serve two masters.
Go ahead.
Either he will hate the one and love the other.
That's the key thing. If you're not serving the Most High in this world, you're taught to hate him. There's no in between. If you are serving another God, you hate the Most High. If you are a Buddhist, you hate God, okay? If you are a Christian, a pagan Christian, and celebrating Christmas and Easter and all that, I know this is a hurt thing for you, but you hate God because God said don't do it. If you're eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, the only way you can show the Most High you love him is to keep his commandments. Let's get that real quick in 1 John 5 and 3. See, we have a thwarted understanding of what love is too. God don't accept you for you. That don't exist. You're not that big. You're not that big and important that the God must shift all of his law and understanding to accept you. It doesn't work that way. We are supposed to understand what he requires, not be accepted for what we are. Get 1 John 5 and 3.
1 John 5 and 3.
Read it.
For this is the love of God.
This is the love of God.
That we keep his commandments.
And that's why Christ told us. So when these New Age people deal with the principles of Christ, they don't understand what Christ was talking about. His love first started with the love of the Most High. Okay? That's the love. And keeping his commandments. Read that 1 John 5 and 3 again.
For this is the love of God.
This is the love of God.
That we keep his commandments.
That we keep his commandments.
And his commandments are not grievous.
And his commandments are not grievous, which means they are not hard to do. It's not hard to keep them. Unless we're rebellious, like the fallen. It's not hard. Thou shalt not do this. Don't do it. Period. The Most High have given us many choices and many things that we can do to experience life and love life. And the things he said don't do, just stay away from it. That's the love of the Most High. Not this, you must love me because this is how I was made and this is how I think. That's the New Age movement ideology. It doesn't work. You're worshiping Satan. That's why you hate God. You hate God. You hate God. Why? Because your thoughts are brought into judgment. Your sins are before you. So instead of us facing those sins, we hate the God that brought us law. See? So I'm just making some clear distinctions here. Read. Read 1 John 2 and 4.
1 John chapter 2 verse 4.
Read it.
He that saith, I know him.
He that saith, I know the Most High.
And keepeth not his commandments.
And don't follow his commandments are a what?
Is a liar.
Is a liar.
And the truth is not in him.
And the truth is not in that person. Sins are before you. So instead of us facing those sins, we hate the God that brought us law. See? So I'm just making some clear distinctions here. Read. Read 1 John 2 and 4.
1 John chapter 2 verse 4.
Read it.
He that saith, I know him,
He that saith, I know the Most High,
and keepeth not his
and don't
commandments,
follow his commandments, are a what? So, I'm just making some clear distinctions here. Read. Read 1 John 2 and 4.
1 John chapter 2, verse 4.
Read it.
He that saith, I know him,
He that saith, I know the Most High,
and keepeth not his
and don't
commandments,
follow his
and the truth. He that saith,
clear distinctions here. Read. Read 1 John 2 and 4.
1 John chapter 2, verse 4.
Read it.
He that saith, I know him,
He that saith, I know the Most High,
and keepeth not his commandments.
John 2 and 4.
1 John chapter 2, verse 4.
Read it.
He that saith, I know him,
He that clear distinctions here. Read. Read 1 John 2 and 4.
1 John chapter 2, verse 4.
Read it. So, I'm just making some clear distinctions here. Read. Read 1 John 2 and 4.
1 John chapter 2, verse 4.
Read it.
He that saith, I know him,
He that saith, I know. Read. Read 1 John 2 and 4.
1 John chapter 2.
John 2 and 4.
1 John chapter 2, verse 4.
Read it.
He that saith, I know him,
He that saith, I know the Most High,
and keepeth not his
and don't
commandments,
follow his commandments, are a what?
is a liar,
Is a liar.
and the truth is not in him.
And the truth is not in that person. You can't say you love the Most High and you purposely break his commandments. See, and that's why Christ says that you can't serve two masters. You're going to love one or hate the other. See, Satan is the God that allows you to be the way you want to be and be accepted.
He that saith, I know him,
How I was made and this is how I think. That's the New Age movement ideology. They're not hard to do. It's not hard to keep them. Unless we're rebellious, like the fallen. It's not hard. Thou shalt not do this. Don't do it. Period. The Most High have given us many choices and many things that we can do to experience life and love life. And the things he said don't do, just stay away from it. That's the love of the Most High. Not this, you must love me because this is how I was made and this is how I think. That's the New Age movement ideology. It doesn't work. You're worshiping Satan. That's why you hate God. You hate God. You hate God. Why? Because your thoughts are brought into judgment. Your sins are before you. So instead of us facing those sins, we hate the God that brought us law. See? So I'm just making some clear distinctions here. Read. Read 1 John 2 and 4.
1 John chapter 2, verse 4.
Read it.
He that saith, I know him,
He that saith, I know the Most High,
and keepeth not his
and don't
commandments,
follow his commandments, are a what?
is a liar,
Is a liar.
and the truth is not in him.
And the truth is not in that person. You can't say you love the Most High and you purposely break his commandments. See, and that's why Christ says that you can't serve two masters. You're going to love one or hate the other. See, Satan is the God that allows you to be the way you want to be and be accepted anyway. And that everyone should love you because that's your individualism. That's Satan. And if you're that way, you're going to hate the God that gives rules. But Christ is bringing a kingdom. And you cannot have a righteous kingdom without rules. Okay? Let's deal with this money. And when it says mammon, that mammon also breaks down to not just man, but money. Money can become a god, brothers and sisters. It can become a god where you will excuse certain things and you will actually do certain things against the Most High's law strictly for money. Well, there's things I can't do right now because, because it is money. And I've seen brothers tell me, like, listen, I've seen it out there. Well, listen, brother, you keep on doing it, brother, because what you're doing is people need it. You keep doing it. I'm going to get this money and I'm going to help you. We never see these people. And I tell them before they go out to get the money, listen, we don't need your money. We need you. Okay? Let the Most High restore you and bring you up. We don't need you can't come and bribe the work of the Most High. And everyone will always say, well, listen, I'm going to get this money. It never turned out like I thought it was. It would, ever. Because their focus wasn't the Most High. They think that there's substances or things in this earth that can sustain the work. I had people go get money and say, well, listen, I can get the money. And when they got the money, they were gone. And I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. Because that is not the love of the Most High. Money cannot sustain us, brothers and sisters. And what happens, and it's going to happen soon, that's why I wanted to bring up this New Age philosophy and New Age movement. They're going to soon move physical money out of the way altogether. That means they're not going to be no tangible. We're going to be able to operate a little bit in this earth with our little technology, our cell phones or whatever for a while, but then they're going to move us out of that too. And you're going to know where everyone's heart is then, because that's going to mean whether or not you're able to live in your house, whether or not you're going to be able to drive your car. Everything is going to be predicated off of that. Whether or not you be homeless or your children not have food, then it's going to be known who's down with the Most High. So the prosperity gospel is moving us into total dependence on money so that we have no choice when it's gone but to receive the mark of the beast. That's what it's all about. This is full circle what we're showing you here. And they have ushered us. It was incremental, but they have moved us into this by infiltrating the Christian church with the New Age movement. The church is not the church no more. It's not the place we go for spirituality and guidance and connection to the Most High no more. Okay? It's not. It's done. It's been overran by sodomites, homosexuals, lesbians, cutthroats, robbers, pimps, killers. That's who control the sorcerers, witches, warlocks. And don't tell me that's not so. How many people I know in the Christian church, they on the subway, on the bus on their way to work, reading their horoscopes. Oh, I'm Libra. See what's going on there for me today. That's witchcraft, brothers and sisters. Did you know that? That's sorcery. You want to know what the Most High have for you? You go into the Bible. Okay? Let's go. Let's deal with this money. 1 Timothy 6 and 10.
First Timothy 6 and 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
Read it again.
For the love of money is the root of all evil.
For the love of money, brothers and sisters, is the root of all evil. What do the prosperity gospel teach us? The love of money. That's the root of all evil. And that's what it shows you. When you get money, it shows really what you are about to some degree. Because people that's down with the Most High, it makes no difference. It never does anything to them one way or the other. Okay? They were charitable and helpful and loving and everything they were when they were broke. It makes no difference. If you broke, if that's the mentality you operate in, that's the mentality you're going to operate in whether you have money or not. Same thing if you're rich or you have something. Because really, being rich have nothing to do with your financial status. Okay? It's the spirit. Doesn't have anything to do with your financial status. It's the spirit the Most High put in you. That's what make one rich. Not your classifications or your class based on the financial status of this world. Read it again.
For the love of money is the root of all evil.
Read.
Which while some coveted after.
Because some people just covet after money. Oh, I'm going to sow a seed so I can receive a blessing. Oh, I see a car in your future. I see a house in your future. What type of mess is this? You're not going to be poor forever. Read.
They have erred from the faith.
And they have did what?
They have erred from the faith.
So don't believe that prosperity is in sowing seed is an act of faith. If you're chasing money and looking at a prosperity doctrine, you have erred of Christ. Where did Christ say sow a seed so that you can get some more money? Now, is tithing and charitable gifts towards bringing forth the work part of the work? Yes. But there's no way the whole ministry is supposed to be predicated off of teaching about money. Well, that's the whole doctrine. The whole sermon is money. Money is a defense, like the Bible says. But we're not supposed to love it. It's to be utilized to do the Most High's work. Read.
And pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
And pierced themselves through. And pierced themselves through. Read.
With many sorrows.
With many sorrows. There's more sorrow chasing money. There's more sorrow chasing money and going after money than it is being broke, or what they call being broke. And I wanted to put that out there. Last but not least, I need you to read that one more time. Isaiah 34:16. Now, Ecclesiastes 12:12. 12:13. The conclusion of the matter.
Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments.
The conclusion of the whole matter is for us to stay with the Bible. And the true doctrine of Christ. And gathering the 12 tribes of Israel, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And bringing the true ministry and the true doctrine to the Gentiles. To the Jews first, then the Gentiles. To prepare for the kingdom to come. Christ's kingdom that will soon be here. That's the true mission. Not setting or making a path for Satan. And ushering Satan as the God of this earth through the New Age movement. And through the New Age philosophy. Read it.
For this is the whole duty of man.
For that is the whole duty of man. That's what we were put here for. We were put here to serve the Most High. That's our purpose. And by serving Him, He placed our purpose in us daily. That's our mission in life, is to serve and be accepted by Him. With that, I'm going to say shalom. I hope we gave you some key information. Share this to anyone you know in a church. And if they have any questions, I'll be more than glad to answer them with the Bible. All right. Let me answer a few questions here. Okay, let me pause this. All right, Lord, I need your help here. Okay, let's get through these.
This is very good study as usual. Does the scripture say anything concerning horoscopes?
Horoscopes, it don't say horoscopes, but that's going into necromancy. Fortune telling, that's necromancy. Okay, that's the answer to that. It don't say horoscopes in the Bible, it's necromancy. Like tellers and soothsaying. That's sorcery. You're not supposed to deal with horoscopes. It's evil. Acts 16:3. Let's get there.
Acts 16:3, where it says,
I'm about to end it. Christ's real name is Yeshaya. He's the son, the Savior. He is dark skin, white hair, according to the Bible. Revelation 1:14-15, King James Version, means Savior in Hebrew. Alright, Most High real name, the Father, I am, Ahai Shai, given to Moses in Exodus 3:13-14 in the Bible. The false image of Christ in Christianity is Caesar Borgia. Look it up, Caesar Borgia. Second son of Alexander VI, the Pope of Rome. Alright. Murderer, killer, gay, poisoner, and all that stuff, alright? Letter J didn't exist when Christ was alive. It's a modern letter, so there's no words with J's in it when Christ was alive. Christ was in real Roman history, alright? So they lie on Christ, giving you Caesar Borgia as the false image. Idols and graven images. In Jesus, the Bible's translated New Testament Greek, so that's Greek. Israelites speak Hebrew. The Jews, Israelites speak Hebrew. They don't speak Greek. They're not Roman, so wake up. Acts 13:1, disciples called Niger. They're black, alright? They're Israelites. So wake up. Follow all commandments, get baptized. The Bible is facts and history. It's not religion, right? What religion will Christ be a part of? And all that stuff, right? Because he wouldn't be part of no damn religion. Christianity. Because they don't follow the Bible, they don't follow Christ. Everything they do is not in the Bible. It has nothing to do with grace. Predates Christ. Holidays, rapture, Holy Trinity, virgin birth. Predates Christ and has nothing to do with the Bible. Zero. Do your research and read the Bible. They allow in King James just like they allow in Christ. There's 80 books in the Bible. King James Version is the original, authentic version, alright? Satan's world until Christ returns, so all these governments, holidays, religions, all satanic. First religion, Babylon, Tower of Babel. With Satan, Ramesses, and the rest of Talmud, do the research. Sodom and Gomorrah, Egypt, Moses, Mount Red Sea, Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai is in Saudi Arabia. Mount Sariat, Noah's Ark, found. It's all real, alright? Sodom and Gomorrah, all that shit, it's all real. So the Bible is real history. It's not religion. It's not belief. It's just real. So wake up. Follow all the commandments, get baptized. Go watch the Gavin Word for on YouTube. They got facts and history, not their opinion. Alright, and Jewish people are Romans from Esau. They're not the people. When two people are in the land, there be no more war. Alright, they're Romans from Esau. They're not from Jacob's 12 sons. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Jacob's 12 sons. Because of the 12 tribes of Israel. Men. It's a bloodline, ethnicity. It's not through a conversion, not through a religion or nothing. Alright, and they're dark-skinned people, not Africans, but dark-skinned people from Shem. So wake up. Read the Bible, King James Version.